ChatGPT Omni. Dr. Mina Blazy or Mina. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it because ChatGPT or OpenAI's any platform, whether it was a 1.0, 2.0, yep, we all get access to 3.5, 4.0, and now 4.0, which is Omni, and it's enhanced. It's like wow, and I think we should talk about it a little bit. And I was kind of surprised with the update. I had no idea it was coming out, and then all of a sudden it was there, and it's a little faster and it's better. And with great power, with I don't even know what I'm saying right now. You just go ahead to ask me some questions.
Okay, so why don't we start with this? When we first got access to what people think is AI, because people only think that ChatGPT is all AI, and it's not. But give us a quick overview of how it started. So give us the basics of 3.5, then we'll talk about 4.0, and then we'll talk about 4.0 and then 4.0. How about that? So give us the basics of 3.5.
Okay, so what I was thinking, because it left me, was with great power comes great responsibility, because OpenAI is an open platform. Like, it's literally an open platform where everybody can just get in it and start asking it questions. So 3.0 or 3.5 came out in November of 2022. And before that, it actually started in 2015, where we didn't have access. It was kind of in beta, and it was a platform that Microsoft and OpenAI kind of collaborated. I think it's called Great Minds. I could be wrong, but it's something Minds, where they got together and they collaborated on generative AI. And so even before 2015, people were talking about it. And it's one of those things where, and literally the reason why I say with great power comes great responsibility, because we in the world freak out when something new and shiny comes, and it scares people. And that because when people started talking about stem cell research, it freaked people out. So they waited and they kind of put it on hold and only let certain people access like 2.0 and 2.5. Like, okay. But then when we got access to it, it was like, for some people, they were thinking, oh, this is like Google or a search engine. I can ask a search engine, it'll find it. Yes and no.
Wait a minute. I want to take you back a step.
Okay.
You said something about there were people that gained access to ChatGPT 2.0 and 2.5 before the rest of the world. Break that down for the folks that are like, what did she just say? You mean people had pre-access?
People had access, like the people who, and I'm looking at some names here, like Greg Brockman, Reid Hoffman, Jessica Livingston, Peter Thiel, I might be saying that name wrong, Elon Musk, and Amazon Web Services, and other research companies. They had access to a platform that was allowing people to problem solve and think faster. Now, those people were part of the process of the building and, the conglomerate, the people that all were like, let's get together and make something great. And what happened was they started giving it to, I don't want to use the word, let me not use that word at all that I'm thinking. I was going to say elite. They gave it to people that were innovators. They gave it to people who were the people that wanted to do something different and would look at it with open eyes and go, okay, this is great. But they also would look at it going, I'm not quite sure what the world's going to think. So let's go slow to go fast. Because the moment, and they had access and they were tweaking it and training it. And what I mean by training it, there are people that sit at computers like this and they actually play with it and train it. Like, no, not that. That's not what I meant. Do this. And so when you ask ChatGPT a question, it'll spit something out. Like, it spits something out. Tell me what the weather is like typically in August in Southern California. Like, you ask it a question, but you can ask Google that too. However, you can push a GPT, a generative AI or generative pre-trained transformer, and ask it things that just blow your mind. It is it's your brain is all day taking pictures, like your eyes, and it's taking in all this knowledge, but our brain is very organized, but you have to train your brain as well. So a bunch of these people trained a bot to pull data from all over the place and organize it for us.
So make sure, because you said a lot. So let me go back. So you're saying that there were the innovators that got access to 2.0 and 2.5, they trained it, or they just got access to it to play with it and break it and to tell OpenAI what they wanted, like some that.
Yeah, everything, all of it. So they gave access to people like, say, you and me. They gave access, like when it came out in November of 2022, it was available and not everybody knew about it. But those of us that found out about it, we were like, oh my gosh, it can do this, it can do this, without thinking about all of the negative stuff. And there are people that go right into the negative, like they do. But these people were playing with it, but then also other engineers. Like they found other engineers. And what I mean by engineers, I mean programming engineers, Python, like programming, going, how are we going to program this so that it knows where to pull and access data? So it's trying to be as factual as possible. But when I say factual, I mean factual based on the information that it's finding, and which is probably a whole nother conversation, because factual is like you and I can have a conversation about something and we decide what fact is.
Okay.
So
before you give them too much,
I can give y'all too much.
Right. I'm not saying you're giving them too much, but so they get the concept. So 2.0, 2.5 was pre the launch of November, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So
then the rest of the world, I'm assuming world, maybe not the rest of the world, but let's just go with the version that everyone got access to was ChatGPT. Was it given the name 3.5, or was it just ChatGPT?
no, I think it didn't say 3.0 or 3.5. I think it was just
Had access.
we had access. I don't quite recall. Like I was almost trying to look that up, but I just remember that.
We should probably start taking screenshots, but it might be, I bet we could probably Google it and go back to some of our original videos to see. As a matter of fact, while we're having this conversation, I'll go find some previous videos. Okay, so tell us about what we learned when we got access to the original ChatGPT.
Okay, so when it first came out, even if it was 2.0, 2.5, or 3.0, or even 3.5, you could do like a transaction. You could ask it a question, or you can push it a little bit and it could give you an outcome. Like it's not just a question, you could just say, create something. Like it could do something for you. For me, like if I was a teacher and I used to write my lesson plans out, and I don't mean just like this agenda that a lot of teachers put on the board, like at this time we're going to do this, at this, like a check off list, like what you're telling kids they're going to do for the day. I mean, a full blown, this is the objective, this is what's going to happen at the end. By the time you're finished, this is the standards you're learning. I mean, like all this stuff, like it was organized. It would take me hours, but I did it because I wanted to make sure that I had everything done. Well, I was like, I asked ChatGPT to do the same thing for me. I gave it the standard, like I had to copy, cut, and paste the standard, because when it was available to us, it was 2 years behind. So that means that even though it was 2022, it was only giving us data from 2021 and earlier. So it wasn't the latest and greatest and update information. So that's where we were then.
Okay,
like
so
it spit it out quickly, very quickly.
well, I just went and looked and it didn't say 3.5. It was just we had access. So now we moved on and we've updated. And so now we see, I can ask this question. So even before the 4.0, we had ChatGPT, and then all of these extensions started coming out. So we had the ability to add things like Google extensions, so it would, skim the internet, on our computers. ChatGPT would sum up someone's website, or you could add keywords everywhere. You could add, I'm going to go with keywords everywhere. And then I even have a few more that makes my GPT look like it's on steroids.
Right.
Now, so talk to us a little bit about the the 4.0, because I'm looking at it and it says advanced model for complex tasks. So 3.5 is saying great for everyday tasks. Then it has advanced model for computer tasks, which is 4. It doesn't even say 4.0, it just says 4. So talk about that.
Yeah, it used to say 4.0. And I think it was because maybe they were thinking they would do like a 4.5. But I mean, it's kind of like your iPhone. You go from, operating system, I
They
think
give
they
it
were trying
names,
not to
so
do that. I think that's what my opinion. Well, if you put 4.4 and 3.5 side by side, you would see it looks almost the same. And even if you asked it the same thing, it would spit it out. In 3.5 it's faster, it just happens, where 4 is slower. However,
why is it slower?
it was that, and that's a good question, but I
Is it
just
because it's
remember it
actually
saying
thinking?
it's both of them are thinking, but it's processing. It has access to more knowledge. It has access to more updated information. Remember, 3.5 is still 2021 and earlier. It has access to the web. It won't watch a video for you, but it might access and find a video. It'll even give you links like the website address or the URL, like in, the actual output of it. Like you can click on it and you can there's a little paper clip there and you can upload documents.
So now before you move on, because even Zoom has an update, in the top left hand corner, and I'm only saying this, is it saying live performance audio on? Did I just turn it on? It says noise suppression. Okay, so this is new. So I'm just scrolling for a moment just to make sure your AI was on, but I'm assuming your AI is on.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
automatic.
So we have the 3.5, which it works quick, it's thinking, but the data is the information only goes through September 2021. The 4 version has access to more knowledge. Do you have a date range of where that goes to? Did you say that?
That came out pretty quickly, like as in,
What I mean is, like, where is it pulling the information from? Is how current is I think my Google is reading my brain.
and
What is
I
the
think
actual
something
cutoff
happened to
date
your
for
mic
4.0?
Your mic
August 23rd. Oh, so here it is. What is the actual cutoff date for GPT-4? And it's saying April 2023 is the knowledge cutoff date.
So,
Per Google.
do you hear the background? I'm just all of a sudden I think your mic changed, and now there is I don't
Let me go
know.
see.
I just thought I would mention it. Like
I hear
I'm
nothing.
getting a
Could be you.
feedback.
We'll let's go figure it out, and then we can edit this out.
It's only when it's just interesting.
What do you hear?
I hear like that.
You still
It
hear it?
repeats me.
It's not on my end.
Like
Okay, if
when you
I
press something,
mute yours. I didn't touch anything. So mute yours and then tell me if you hear feedback when I talk now. Nod yes or no.
I it's not you, but when I talk, I hear feedback after you did something with Zoom.
How about now?
Now it's better.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened. I clicked in the top left-hand corner for live performance audio. So that means that I would have to have on headphones.
Okay.
So we'll just edit that. I don't know how many minutes we're in, but we'll figure it out. I'll be looking like this. Okay. So back. Now we learned something new. So back to, or we just leave it on and let everybody know. So back to, we talked about 2.0 or the original, call it the original. Then we have the original for the public. And then we have the the switch option for 3.5 and 4.0. 3.5 goes through September 2021. That's where that's the most recent data through September 2021. And then the most recent data for ChatGPT 4.0 is through April 2023.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna move that. And then ChatGPT Omni, let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh, my camera, this is just amazing. Now my camera is wop. We're gonna have to edit this too.
I'm gonna repeat what I just said so it's cleaner.
Okay,
So we have 2.0 to 2.5 available to the innovators. 3.5, which was available to the public in November 2022, but not called 3.5. Data is through September 2021. Now you have 4, which the data is through April 2023, and now we have 4 Omni, which is why we probably don't have 4.0 because they wanted to give it real names.
yes.
So talk about what you've learned so far with Omni.
Well, I did want to just quickly say that the difference between 3.5 and 4.0 is you can upload. 3.5, everybody has access to, and 4.0, there's a monthly fee. And you can upload PDFs. At first, when 3.5 was out, you could only copy, cut, and paste so many words. Now it seems like I can almost copy, cut, and paste unlimited words, but I also can upload most PDFs. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I've uploaded 200-page documents and asked it to read a specific pages, and it does it. And then I go and verify it. So that's pretty cool. And then 4.0, I believe it was taking its time researching because it had access to more and it was slower to output, slower in, everything is all relative because slow is still really fast. And then Omni is slowly rolling out. I don't even have full access to Omni, but if you were to go to OpenAI's platform, what it's going to be able to do, 2 things. If you have, I believe it's only on a Mac operating system, but you can download it as software now on your computer. And what it's going to be able to do is you're going to be able to let it see you. And so remember, it's an open source. So you're going to be able to talk to it. And you're going to be able to ask it, like, this is what I'm doing. You see who I am. And now what do you think you can have conversations with the GPT. It's like having a conversation.
You could have a conversation with it before, but now it's going to actually
you can do it in voice, which you still can do on your phone. You can do it in voice and it'll spit some things out. And you know that because it has these little headphones on the right side. But the same app that you have on your phone is now accessible on your Mac operating system. It's the same one. So, yeah. So I have it on my Mac now.
Because I went and Googled download ChatGPT, and it's saying, and it's called GitHub, downloading the new desktop version. I'm going to go to OpenAI because I don't know what I went to.
I think you need to, it just popped up on so when I was in the online platform and I was on my Mac, it opened up at the bottom and it said download software for your something like that. And I immediately, how after you download it, you get a little window and you have to drag it into the folder. That's what I got. And I downloaded it. And then I just finished a comparison video that I'll be uploading it'll go live this evening, or anyway, it'll be live on YouTube for people to see the side by side because it's really good. And I still log in using my Google account.
So define, what you're saying is there is a video that was posted live on May 26th in the evening. That's what you're saying. Got it.
Yes. And yeah, it'll go live at 7 p.m. Pacific time, around that time.
Okay, I'm looking at their forum over here and it's saying it's available for Mac app, the Mac app not available in US. That's not true, but this was 12 days ago. So, okay, I'm looking at their forum. I'm out of that. So if I were to go, so when we look at Omni, if I were to click, you're saying I can upload, but I need to go to 4.4 Omni.
You can upload either way on 4 or Omni. You can upload a PDF.
But it's not letting me.
You can upload, there's a paperclip.
The paperclip is not letting me. I'm on a PC. Oh, there it is to the left. I'm a little slow. So slow down and read. So I'm just uploading.
So, and let me be clear. If you are in education or in a business, anything you put out there is public information. So you don't want to be putting people's names in there. Let's say you have a client, you don't want to be putting, let's just be clear, you don't want to be putting in, I need a letter for my client or this educator. Just write me a letter. Don't put the person's name. Anything that's public knowledge is probably okay to put in there. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in the state of California, I like to talk about test scores. You might have public knowledge, information as an agent, or you can upload it and ask it to read it. I like to tell people to stick to what's public, because you don't want to start teaching people to put in social security numbers, student IDs, or client IDs, or somebody's proposal for some house they want to buy. Everything, OpenAI is exactly what it says, open. Unless your company buys the enterprise version, so you house your own data and you can own that. But when it says open, that's why, I know you and I were talking about like not getting left behind, but because Omni, when I mean like if you go onto OpenAI, there's a 2-minute video, it's less than this, like 1 minute and 21 seconds. The guy is like, hey, Omni, or whatever it's saying, what do you think I'm doing in my office? And the person, the Omni, sounds like a female, says, it looks like you're going to be doing some recording. And it looks like you're going to possibly be sharing this wherever. And then he says, actually, yeah, and I'm going to be talking about you. And then the bot says back, wow, that's pretty impressive. I feel so honored. Like, it's a conversation with a bot, and he's recording him. He's using it like it's pretty profound. Omni, if I go to Omni on my computer, very different in the sense that on the bottom right, what I mean by that is when I go to the actual platform that is the software, on the right, it has the microphone like my phone, and it has the headphones. What's the difference? The microphone will let me talk to it in speech to text. So that's a generative AI. You use it on your phone when you're like, let me just send someone a text message. How many people do you see walking around talking to their phone like this? Like this. That's what it is. And now,
You mean when I'm in TJ Maxx and I'm like, get off of the speaker?
yeah,
That's what they do, right?
yeah. So, and there are the generation, I'm still like, I'm okay with texting, but people are doing that and they're just sending a quick text. And if they're really close to it, if they don't want to get background noise. And then the headphone little thing, the icon that's on Omni, which was by the way, was on 4.0 on your app, on your phone, will let you, not only is it speech to text, it's now giving you speech to speech back. And then after it does the full write up in the Omni, whatever voice you want, because it could be a female, it could be a male, whatever you want, then it gives you all the outline verbatim as to what the text. So it gives you speech to speech and speech to text, which feels like overwhelming. And we've talked about the kids born today will never know a life without generative AI. And I've always feel like, and I know I wrote
And I
some
know
notes down,
I think we can literally do a 2-part series on
and
this
we
and then
should.
come back and talk about the next generation. So before we end, because I usually copy, cut, and paste data and I upload it into ChatGPT and I ask it to analyze it. But as you were talking and giving the history of or talking about the updates with the Omni version, I uploaded 2 data reports it's not necessarily public knowledge the way I uploaded it, because these are documents that I get as a licensed real estate professional in Illinois. But I know that the data is accessible because our multiple listing service, our state association and local associations upload this data. So when I uploaded it, Mina, in the 2 minutes that you were talking, I created a social media post and a blog post for LinkedIn, and without having to copy, cut, and paste.
And what's
So kind of cool.
amazing is that now it knows my voice, meaning how I write. And I say, now use my voice. And what I mean by that is I typically will write everything out that I want to say and not have it create content for me. I will just have it make it more fluid, make it more organized, and check for grammar and spelling and punctuation. That way it's mine. I'm not saying I haven't let it create a full blog. Like, it's created a full blog for me. And at the bottom, I'm like, completely created by OpenAI, ChatGPT. I'm not giving it credit, but it's taking the voices of a whole bunch of people. So I want to be able to say that. But when I write something, like, we pay editors. I paid an editor to edit my dissertation. Why? Because no one writes perfectly the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. We're human. So, but one of the things that's interesting about the GPT is that it organizes it well. But if I have it write me a blog, it's going to break it apart the way it thinks it should until I teach it a writing style. And that's the part that people don't realize. So when you're taking the work of, the platform itself, it's going to, it's typical. Every time it does this, it will have a title. It will have a header, a paragraph, a header, a paragraph, a header, and a paragraph, and so on. And then the other pattern is it gives you transition words. First, second, conclusion, things like that, or next, or nevertheless. Like, it does that. And so I can tell you if it was possibly created by a bot. Now, I'm not saying that teachers don't teach that, but we have to get away from that type of, in the box writing style. And that's where GPT is right now. But sooner or later, it's going, like, if I asked it to write what I wrote and from, I don't know, some famous person's voice, it can do that. So anyway.
So, and to kind of just make it understandable for no matter what industry you're in, and because you did mention that ChatGPT can be taught or trained to speak in our own voice or edit or write the content in our own voice. When I created that LinkedIn blog post right now, it literally knew it was for me, and it writes the way I wanted it to write. So, and then even at the end, it knew to put in, CarMarc Realty Group. It knew to put in that I'm the designated managing broker because we're required in Illinois. It already knew.
Okay.
And I didn't even train it that. I didn't train that part of ChatGPT, but because it is realizing that that's what I have been asking, it knew to do it.
Well, and that's the part of the training that it's doing. It's learning as it's going. So you may not be with purpose training it, but it has been taught to learn from the person that it's interacting with. So you are training it without
training it.
Yeah, without
it's learning on its own.
Yeah. You're training it without training it.
So we want to come back and share more information about technology from the education space and, the crossroads of real estate and education. But we also want to come and talk to you about tech, because we both come from the tech arena. Mina comes from the science arena, math stuff that I don't even understand.
All the things.
All the things. So if there's something you want to learn from us, please make sure you make a comment, whether it is in our podcast, whether it is on YouTube, whether it is on social media, or just reach out directly to either one of us. I am Carrie Little, the designated managing broker of CarMarc Realty Group in Illinois and in Florida. And this is my identical twin sister,
Mina Blazy, and I currently work for a small district in Southern California. And please follow me on YouTube, MjBlazy, and everywhere else, Mina J Blazy. And come back often.